Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm having coffee outside, so you can probably tell in the next 10 minutes as you hear my background with some noise. I suddenly feel like talking about regenerative tourism, ecotourism, and the circular economy, and how these three things are all linked. When we look at the concept of ecotourism, and I have said this to quite a few people in the last few years, that ecotourism is a form of responsible tourism, or can be a form of responsible tourism. And ecotourism and responsible tourism, in modern times, we should make them adopt the circular economy principles. And if there's anyone who argues that these are three separate things, I am afraid, or I have this fear, that whoever feels that these three things are isolated, separate things, may not really have a very good understanding of how the elements in ecotourism or in tourism as a matter, when tourism is trying to be responsible or sustainable, how different things can be or should be all connected. The connectivity makes tourism more meaningful, more impactful, positively I mean. Ecotourism is more than just traveling to nature-based destinations. As a member of the Asian Ecotourism Network, I have learned many things from the people in the organization. One of the things that I learned in my so far very short time with the organization is that ecotourism is or must be more than just travel to nature-based places. Real, authentic ecotourism must embrace educational and conservation principles. It should be authentic, intentional, and authentic and intentional also means that it must intentionally embrace sustainable or responsible tourism concepts and principles. For ecotourism to be more than just travel to nature-based destinations, and it should be, because for travels to nature-based destinations to be called ecotourism, it must create positive and meaningful impacts to the environment and to the people in the community, people who happen to live in or near these ecotourism sites. Responsible tourism means that when we look at ecotourism, the impacts not only must be positive, but it must be meaningful. It must be as equally distributed as possible, whenever possible. Although sometimes equal distribution is very hard to define and very challenging to make happen. For ecotourism to be responsible tourism, I believe it must also embrace the concept of the circular economy. Buy local, grow local, buy local, support local. It should create this circular movement as little waste or wastage as possible. It must create as very minimal leakages as possible, so that the economic gains or the economic impacts flow around in the local area. So I think an expert in responsible tourism or ecotourism, which I do not claim that I am, will be able to say more than I am saying now, how these three things are all linked. There is a trend now towards talking and and implementing circular economy. Sustainability principles these days do include the concept of the circular economy, because the circular economy seems to be something that we have missed out while doing things all this while. So for sustainability to really happen in an economy, to really happen in the economy of an ecotourism destination, which can be quite small, which can be a small area, ecotourism and the circular economy principles should be linked so that ecotourism can be genuine, meaningful, responsible tourism. I endeavor to talk more and to talk deeper into this. I will be doing another podcast exploring this topic on a deeper scale. I promise in the next coming few weeks. This is probably just more of an introductory, and I'll be attempting to deep dive into this topic in a few weeks' time. Thank you for your support all this while, and this is already podcast number 48. Thank you. Till then, see you. Bye-bye.